Hello, beautiful specimens. It is Shy Attempts Makeup, and I am here with my husband, who is going to be reading Reddit stories as I show you guys how I'm going to do, where is it? This picture. This from Maddys.makeup. I have a lot of inspiration pictures from her, as well as Lynn's makeup, and one other that I can't remember. Sorry. But today it's that picture from Maddys makeup. And what is the Reddit story title?
Am I the asshole for not letting my sister move in with me when she and her kids are facing homelessness?
All right.
I wouldn't do that either. If my sister was facing homelessness with her kids, be like, well, fucking figure it out.
You would not.
I'm in the military. I ain't got time for that shit.
I would take them in.
I would not. I'd figure it the fuck out. This lives with dad.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyway.
Okay.
So here's a little bit of a backstory. In 2022, my sister, 22 female, had asked me if she, her boyfriend, 23 male, and her newborn, 6-month female, could stay with us for 1 to 3 months, which turned into 11 months, until they had gotten their taxes so they could save up and move to another place. That's your first mistake. Don't wait on the government. My partner and I agreed 21 female and 20 male because it was only going to be a few months and I didn't want them to be potentially homeless with an infant. So at least she's got some morals. I only had 3 actual rules. A, take care of the wood floors because that's expensive as shit. B, help out with rent when they can because shit ain't free. And C, no births. So don't be fucking in my house and giving birth to babies. Anyway. My sister stayed home with the baby mostly while us 3 worked throughout the day. But soon we were consistently piles of dishes. So what the fuck? You need to fucking check your grammar. But soon there were constantly piles of dishes, dirty diapers, food, trash, and just things left around. And they also spent all their tax money and asked if they could stay longer. Again, first mistake. Don't trust the government. After a while, my sister was getting really comfortable with asking me to watch my niece. I would end up watching my niece almost every night / off day for 1 to 5 hours. It got to the point where my partner and I couldn't really hang out. Them living with us was starting to have an effect on mine and my partner's relationship at that point. Alright. She had gotten prescribed birth control shortly after I started to notice a bunch of ovulation tests in our bathroom. Motherfuckers.
She's definitely trying.
Motherfuckers.
She's disobeying.
Not long after the appointment, she happily came up to me and showed me a positive pregnancy test. She tried to lie and say that she was too fertile for birth control to work. And
That's
said it was an accident. But it was so hard to believe. So then I told them both they had to leave before the baby was born.
She took ovulation tests to get the date to get pregnant again. And there are several types of birth control, but okay.
When they moved out, her boyfriend literally said to me before they left, "Wow, your house looks trashed."
I wonder why.
Left. Their bedroom floors were super sticky, random substance on the walls, and a shit ton of dirty dishes were left for me to clean up.
Oh my.
Shit. Anyway.
I'm so glad we don't have family members like that.
Now it's been about 1.5 years since they left, and currently my partner is having some heart issues, causing him to be out of work and will need surgery. R.I.P. So I'm riding solo to keep a roof over our head, bills paid, and food in the fridge. Oh, fuck that. Goddamn. My sister called me in a panic, saying that her and her 2 babies that are now toddlers are going to be homeless because she was on a wait list for a rental assistance apartment, and that she had done everything she could, and her boyfriend had been having issues keeping a job because he has a felony. Well, that's your first fucking mistake.
Divorce.
Don't marry a goddamn felon.
Okay.
How hard is it not to...
Okay, not all felons are bad felons.
Just saying.
It's not going to be easy, and you got to take that into account.
And she had asked if she and my niece and nephew could stay with me for a few weeks. But I told her no, because fuck you.
Does it say why he's a felon?
No.
Oh. Well, that's not helpful.
I couldn't take on any more responsibilities than I already have, and that I'm having difficulty keeping up with my own shit. I suggested if she could just reach out to her boyfriend's parents and see if they could help in any way. They agreed to let them stay. I called to check on them, no response, which is very, very unusual for her, and feel like she may have gotten upset with me. I just frankly have so much going on that I couldn't go through the pain.
Well, yeah, she's probably upset with you for not taking her in again, even though it was her fault that you didn't want her there. She disrespected.
OP has offered a following explanation for why they think they're the asshole. She thinks she's the asshole because she didn't allow her sister to move into her house with her 2 kids when she was facing homelessness, and she may be the asshole for not helping. Some of these comments, like one of them says, do not feel bad about saying no. She was supposed to stay only a short while and stayed 11 months last time. You know this would be a similar or longer. She is a grown-ass adult. If dad can't keep a job and they can stay home with the babies while she works.
Looks like a fish.
You can afford to feed them in addition to yourself and your partner. I find it so disrespectful that instead of being grateful and cleaning the place and bending over backwards to do the chores, that they instead trashed your place. Keep saying no, you're not the asshole.
She's not. Her rules were completely disrespected.
A lot of these were not the asshole.
Her boundaries were completely disrespected and disregarded. Like, I get it. Family's family. You don't want family to suffer, especially young kids. But ultimately, it's not your fault that, their life choices. Their life choices are not your fault.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so if Kylie were to do that, at first I would say, like, Kylie, for reference, is my sister, my older sister. And let's say
Shout out to Kylie.
Yeah, let's say her and Olivia, like, moved out, and then, like, along down the road, she eventually finds somebody, gets pregnant, yada, 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 right?
The whole 9 yards.
If they were facing homelessness, because in those couple of years that she might be doing that, I still might be in Germany, if not like halfway across the states, or possibly somewhere else.
Oh my!
At this point, right? And she calls me and asks me if she can stay with me. One, I technically can't. Like, family members cannot live with you while you're in the military because of the top secret. Yeah, I know. I looked it up. Top secret security clearance. The, like, shit about your job, like, stuff like that. Like, they can't stay with you because of that.
Yet no, because you're allowed to, like, have a parent, like, your parent in the home if you're taking care of them.
Yeah, exactly.
But she wouldn't count as immediate family. Even so, if we lived in the States,
no, Kylie
who would
be
know?
counted as immediate family because she's my blood relative.
I know.
She's my sister.
That's why I'm confused.
I cannot take her in because, one, the government's not going to pay for that, so it'd be completely out of pocket.
She could pay for her rent.
If she's facing homelessness...
Well, she can contribute a little bit.
I'm just saying, at first I would say yes and try to play it on the down low and be like, yeah, just stay for a couple months. But if she stays with me for 11 months and trashes my fucking house while me and you are going about our lives, or at least trying to, hell no. At that point, I'd be on at least, I say, max E5 pay, which is a staff sergeant, and fucking doing whatever I gotta do. Like, hell no. Hell no.
Well, Kylie, okay.
I love you, Kylie.
Her dogs?
Fuck no.
Little questionable. Love her dogs to death.
Exactly. You got 3 wiener dogs and I got a Frenchie, alright? They shed like a motherfucker.
But,
we got allergies.
I have allergies. She will cook and cleans up after herself, though, so that's a little different.
I know, like, every situation is going to be different, but still, if she did what OP sisters did, no, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
You ain't ever live with me again.
Yeah.
Alright. Am I the asshole for encouraging my aunt to help my backstabbing sister instead of trying to make me do it? Huh?
Read that one more time?
Am I the asshole for encouraging my aunt to help my backstabbing sister instead of trying to make me do it? So instead of her doing it, she asked her aunt. Okay, I'm trying to read it because I'm interested now.
No, her aunt asked her to do it, and she was saying to ask her sister to do it.
No, the backstabbing, to help my backstabbing sister. So they're helping the sister. Okay, my sister, 26 female, and I, 27 female, had not spoken in 7 years after she got pregnant with my then boyfriend's child.
Yo!
Yeah! Alright. I had been dating him for 5 years, and he had talked about us getting married, which my sister knew. She told me about their affair publicly and did so in a way that made it seem like she was trying to paint me as some awful person for being with her unborn child's father, instead of acknowledging the fact that he was my partner who she slept with. Like so many red flags in that such short paragraph. It's not funny.
Yeah,
right.
I would disown myself.
he called it off with her after I broke up with him, and he wanted me back. My sister then wanted to make amends, and I told them both I never wanted to see their faces again. Rightfully so.
I wouldn't either.
My sister tried to play the family card in the innocent child, her baby card, and then tried to play the we have shitty parents card, claiming we needed each other. I told her I didn't need another terrible person in my life, and she was dead to me, as our parents are.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if they have terrible parents, I wonder where she got it from.
Yep. Our aunt was someone who did look out for us when she realized we had shitty parents. She wasn't very involved, but was the only family we really had. She hated what happened between us and never said much about it. Right, okay. Because she can't do anything, so why the fuck would you talk about it? My sister and ex got back together, and they had another kid. Wow. And stayed together until last year or something. He ended up fucking her over and leaving her without a place to stay. She was also dumb to rely entirely on him. She lost her job during this too. She reached out to our aunt to find out if I could help her.
Fuck no.
No. My aunt told me my sister was homeless, jobless, and her kids had nothing going for them. I told her it wasn't my problem, because it ain't.
It's definitely not.
In response, I got a voicemail from my aunt forwarded on of my sister crying and apologizing and saying she really loves and misses me, and she hates that she hurt me, and she needs me more than ever, and she just wants her big sister right now because her life is a mess. I told my aunt it wasn't my problem anymore.
Karma's a bitch.
My aunt dug deep to try to change my mind, and she had told me multiple times that I should step up as a sister. I told her I have no plans to keep that backstabber. My aunt said that we were My aunt
this
said
is G
we
Fuel,
were
by the way.
all each other had for years, and that it should count for something. I told her it should have, but didn't. My aunt pointed out that I'm engaged to a wonderful guy, and we were doing well for ourselves and have built a nice life together, and I should reconcile with my sister and do better. I encouraged her to help my backstabber of a sister instead of trying to make me do it, since she never wronged her, and she's actually concerned about her. I told her that it would be far more helpful. My aunt told me I sounded like our parents, and I told her that if I was like our parents, my sister would have never had the thought for a single second she could even try to reach out to me. My aunt made it clear she thought less of me for my stance. Am I the asshole?
You're definitely not the asshole, especially because you're not telling your aunt not to help her. You're asking your aunt to help her because you don't have the means to help her after what she did to you, but you're still wanting her to get help. You are far from the asshole. You are a bigger person than some people I know.
So yeah, this goes to the point of like, so if when Grayson grows up eventually, which is my brother for reference, and he does the same thing to me, it's like me and Grayson are on a better standpoint now than we were when we were younger, mainly because I was an asshole.
Well, he also did some asshole shit to you.
I would sorely admit to that. And yeah, he has done asshole shit to me, but we're still brothers, right?
Family.
Yeah, we're still family. So
Dominic Toretto.
Family.
Working on Blue now.
So I would try to at least help him at that point. But if he did some shit like this, so let's say something happens between us or something, and like we're together for a while, and then I go on like a deployment or something, and I find out that you cheated on me with my brother, which is not likely because
illegal.
Yeah, because
that's illegal.
He's in 8th grade, so it's not likely. But okay, let's say it was Seth. Like you cheated on me with Seth.
Okay.
highly unlikely because Seth is my boy.
Yeah, but
he would do
Seth is probably a better example because you and Seth have very similar tastes.
Yeah. So let's
or
say,
your dad.
Oh my god, if she knew my dad, I don't even want to think about it. That'd be so awkward.
I'm just saying, like, even he would be a better example because you have similar tastes.
I'm just gonna go with. I'm not gonna go with the damn near 50-year-old man. All right. I'm gonna go with the similar age gap here. Let's say you treated me with Seth, right? At that point, you're dead to me. You both are. I don't care how long me and Seth were friends and how long we were together. You're dead to me. Like, goodbye. So long. And like years later, I'm doing better for myself. I became an officer. I'm whatever, and I got engaged to somebody else. Whatnot. And you call me up, or Seth calls me up, and goes, "Hey, like, I really need your help. Like, it's been a while since that happened. Like, I want to talk and stuff." No, I'm not gonna do that. Like, you're not getting a goddamn penny from me for asking me for money. You're not getting any assistance from me. You are dead to me. Like, don't even try to like, why did you even try? Like, it was gonna be a fail. I'm not. No. I would no. No. Not the asshole. I fully agree. Not the fucking asshole.
For context, ignore that right now. Seth is his longtime best friend. He is in a relationship, and this is purely hypothetical. But also ignore the white on my hand. I was testing stuff.
That's crazy. Fucking hell no. Especially if you haven't spoken in 7 years. What makes you think if I don't speak with you for a year? I mean, okay, that's a bad example because me and Seth have gone, like, I think almost 4 years without talking to each other. And then I realized that, and I was like, "What the fuck? I live right across from the asshole." So I walked over to his house, and I was like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Whenever I mess up like this, easy, just wipe it.
Wipe it down. Sorry. Wait, the fuck? Am I the asshole for bringing my own popcorn to the movies because my mom eats like a vacuum cleaner?
Bringing or buying?
Bringing. Okay.
I feel like that's already an asshole to the movie theater.
Throwaway for obvious
it's expensive.
reasons. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Throwaway for obvious reasons. They're not using their main account because other people know them.
Oh. So my mom, 54 female, and me, 24 female, have this tradition where we go to the movies once a month. It's fun, and I love that I get to spend quality time with her. But there's one major issue. My mom is a popcorn monster. That sounds like somebody I know.
Hey!
I love popcorn. The second the movie starts, she's inhaling the popcorn like she hasn't eaten in days. She's a pretty healthy lady, watches her diet and everything, and she just loves popcorn. I mean, I do too.
I mean, hey, if you have a healthy diet and this is like a once a month thing, more power to you.
That's what I'm saying. She finishes the entire bucket before the previews are done. Jesus. And guess who gets none? Me. I tried telling her to leave some for me as well because I love to have a bite or two as well, and she just shrugs and says you should eat faster.
That reminds me of my dad and I. We eat whenever we go to a movie, which is very rare. There's not a lot of popcorn left. My dad has a popcorn machine in his basement. For context. We love popcorn.
This time I decided to take that into my own hands, so I snuck in a separate bag of popcorn for myself to enjoy. We got to the theater, she grabbed her bucket, and we waited until the lights dimmed. Naturally, she started ravishing her popcorn. I started eating mine as well. Halfway through the movie, Mom caught me munching on my popcorn, and I swear if looks could... Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm dyslexic. And I swear if looks could kill, she gave this look, leaned over and whispered, "Did you seriously bring your own popcorn?" And I nodded and just kept eating. After the movie was done, she told me that I was very selfish, and I would have been nice to share with her, that I ruined her experience. I was a bit shocked. It's just popcorn. And she never leaves me some. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I told her she eats the popcorn like a vacuum cleaner, and she always eats her portion and mine as well, but she still expects me to leave her some if I bring my own? How's that fair? She doesn't want to go to the movies with me anymore.
Most movie theaters offer refills on popcorn.
Yeah, everyone says she's not the asshole, because, like...
if you're eating the popcorn before the credits are even done, you can...
Before the previews.
Not even
the movies. The movie has not started.
I meant previews. Before the previews are even done, most movie theaters will give you a refill of popcorn. It's not that hard. You just go up and ask. And if they don't, I'm sorry.
That's so annoying.
Most movie theaters I know offer free refills.
Like, my family, we were broke growing up. And so going to the movies in general was like a hallelujah moment when we were younger. Like when we were like kids, before Mary Lou came into the picture.
This blue isn't very good. Sorry, guys.
So at that point, we expected not to get candy, not to get popcorn, and maybe get something to drink because of, my dad is a single dad raising 2 kids, one with a diet as a vacuum cleaner. I ate everything.
Still do.
Kylie, who he's trying to get her to eat healthier foods because she was gaining a little too much weight at the time. I'm not dissing you, Kylie. I'm just saying. But
Kylie, you are beautiful.
So it's like, to me, that just seems like, why? Like, why would you just sit there and take a whole... Like, those buckets are massive.
The movie theater food in general, the candy, which you can get for much cheaper basically anywhere else. But the candy, the popcorn, the drinks, all of it is extremely expensive.
Exactly.
So I mean, I get not wasting any, but that's excessive.
And that even then, like, if we went to the movies and had a chance to get popcorn, me and my sister would be like birds. And we'd make sure that me and her and Dad got some. It's like...
Sharing is caring.
Not the asshole. That's just something you really gotta talk to your mom about.
I think they should look into if their movie theater allows them to get refills, because I think that's what the mom wants. Is more. Which, more power to her for being able to eat a lot and wanting more and eating healthy other than that. But...
Alright, so we're gonna switch it up a bit. Am I the asshole for creating a safe account for my wife?
Oh, what is a safe account?
I don't know. I, 38 male, and my wife, Eve, 33 female, have been together for 4 years, married for 2. 8 months ago, our twins were born, and Eve decided to stay home with them. Her decision, not mine. For some context, I grew up in a wealthy family while Eve did not. Her mother, a single mom, was living but had to work a lot, which influenced Eve's decision to stay home with our children. Now, I grew up with incredibly loving parents until I was 12. Everything changed when my dad was in a car accident that drastically altered him. He became angry, constantly yelled, and even started cheating on my mom. When I asked my mom why she didn't leave him, she explained that she couldn't afford to give us 3 kids, the same lifestyle, gated community, private schools, etc. So she stayed with him until he passed away a few years later. Because of this, when my wife and I got married, I opened a separate account for her and one for our children. My intention was that if for any reason I changed or become difficult to live with like my dad, Eve wouldn't feel trapped or pressured to stay. Every month, I'd deposit a percentage of my income into these accounts. Both accounts are now approximately 6 figures. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's a nice thing to do.
With the kids' account having a bit more, obviously. Here's where things got complicated. A few weeks ago, we went on vacation and left my sister house sitting. For some reason, she went through my office and found the paperwork for these accounts. I hadn't told my wife about them yet because she's proud and doesn't like receiving big financial gifts. So I was trying to figure out how to bring it up to her without upsetting her. Well, my sister told my mom, and they both confronted me. My mom was angry because I didn't give her money for upcoming surgery. She doesn't actually need the money as she inherited from my dad, and we already help her financially. I explained that I created the accounts to prevent my wife from going through what my mom did, but both my mom and younger sister seem to forget that part. The only person who's on my side is my older sister. Now my wife is upset and says she doesn't want the money, and that I should give it all to our kids or my mom. So am I the asshole for trying to protect my wife and family in this way?
Absolutely not. You're doing that out of the kindness of your heart, knowing what happened to your family. Just because other people don't seem to remember or don't know doesn't mean anything. And even so, like, if it never happens, it can go to your kids. Like, it's not that hard.
What's funny is that Reddit has dubbed this story asshole.
Why?
I don't. They just have. But
Is there something I missed?
I'm going through the comments and they're all like, "Why the asshole? If you don't cut your sister out of your life immediately, who does she think she is? First snooping and then confronting you about it."
I mean, the only thing I could perceive as him being the asshole for.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was implied that I'm not talking to them until they apologize and admit they upset big time. Fuck yeah, OP. Fucking hell yeah.
I feel like the only thing saying that he's the asshole would be not telling his wife. Which, I get it. But, like...
Okay, hang on. This one comment. You're both asshole and not the asshole. Asshole for not telling your wife, as you just said. Not the asshole because this is incredibly loving, thoughtful, and, like... Okay, so, in my opinion, if I had that much money, which would be fantastic, I would do, like... He's doing what I used to do at the beginning of our relationship. I warned you that I'm like my dad, and I'm complacent on how I live.
Content
on how I live. And things, that I'm comfortable with the way I live, and, like, I, come home from work, play my video games, eat dinner, go to bed, and I do that. Whatever. We have had conversations several times of the fact that, well, one, stop being so fucking lazy, and just get out and go do stuff. And two, that makes you feel kind of, trapped in this house because we don't go and do anything. But for this one, it's like he's mentally preparing for something like that to happen, which is what I don't understand. If he's already mentally preparing for it, and he's like, if something happens and I change, then they have this account to where she doesn't feel stuck. Like that's wonderful. Like it's an escape route, but like, why would you not? I mean, I get your wife is proud and doesn't like receiving financial gifts, but this isn't a gift. This is like a what if. And like your mom doesn't need that.
Yeah, but if you're planning for that to happen, that can also be perceived as strange.
He's planning for that to happen. He's like preparing if that happens.
I think that's his intention, but the way that some people could have read it,
is that he was planning to do it too. Which I get that. But like
most of these look like fish.
Like little sharkies.
Maybe I'll do sharks for you someday, babe.
Hell yeah.
He loves sharks.
Am I the asshole for picking out my wedding dress without my mom? I, 25 female, scheduled my wedding dress appointment 2 months in advance, obviously. On the day that I scheduled, I invited my mom because this is something that I would...
Wait, is that the fitting that she scheduled or just the initial?
It just says dress appointment. I don't know.
I hope that's the fitting because 2 months is not
on
that
the day
long.
I scheduled, I invited my mom because this is something that would be special for us to experience together. Obviously. I made sure to give her a time and date and a location well in advance because we do live a fair distance apart, a 6-hour drive. A week leading up to my appointment, my mom told me multiple times that she was struggling financially, and she told me about several bills she couldn't pay, and that she was doing DoorDash to make ends meet. I told her no worries and that I could send her pictures of my appointment.
Or you could video chat her?
I know, right? 4 days before my appointment, she told me that she would make it work and make the drive because she's dreamt of this day since I was a kid. 2 days before the appointment, she asked me to reschedule till next year so that it would better fit her schedule, and I would explain to her that I had multiple people coming to my appointment and it would be a lot of work to reschedule. This is 2 days before. Yeah, I'm facing like, what the fuck?
Is it 2 months before her wedding or
I don't know.
months before her appointment that she told her mom?
2 months. No, she scheduled the appointment 2 months in advance from her wedding, I'm assuming.
So what do you mean next year?
I know,
There's
right?
so many venues booked and everything. Oh my god.
And I explained to her that I had multiple people coming to my appointment and it would be a lot of work to reschedule. I tried to compromise and told her that I would schedule a second appointment at a later date so she could be there when I picked my dress. Okay, so this is a fitting, I'm assuming.
Well, when she picked her dress, so she's just going to try some on and see how she feels, and then she's going to do another appointment to pick her dress, or is she saying the dress that she picked?
As a compromise to her mom. I'm assuming. Like this first appointment, for the compromise, she would just use this appointment to try on dresses, and then the next appointment, so her mom could be there, pick one.
Okay.
The day before my appointment, she calls me to tell me that she's going to get her hair done that night, which cost $150, and then she was taking her man out to dinner, her boyfriend, and an abusive jerk who doesn't pay for anything and works a dead-end job to buy drugs and alcohol. This deeply hurt me because I was under the impression that she was in financial shambles. When I went to my appointment and absolutely fell in love with the dress, I found a dress that made me feel like a bride and made me sob in the showering room after I tried it on.
That's so good.
The
I'm
guests
so
that
happy.
did come, mother-in-law, grandma-in-law, and...
Grandma-in-law threw me off.
Well,
Sorry.
it's MILGIL and MOA. I don't know what that means.
MO, maid of honor.
Yeah, and maid of honor. No, that's
No?
MOH.
MOA.
I don't know what MOA would mean.
I don't know. Leave a comment down below if you know.
Anyway, all cried and shared a beautiful moment with me that made everything feel so real and exciting. I ordered the dress and I'm currently waiting for it to come in. So Reddit, am I the asshole for picking my dress without my mom there when I know it's something she's been looking forward to since I was born? I can't help but feel selfish for taking the experience away from her. Are her priorities wrong, or am I just being a bridezilla?
Her priorities were definitely wrong. It's not
yeah.
your fault, OP.
Yeah,
She's the one that was saying that she was in financial hardship and yet doing all this stuff for her deadbeat person that she has.
This one comment. Not the asshole. Okay, read this and see what you think. Am I the asshole because I invited my mom to come help pick out my wedding dress and she decided to have an expensive night out with her boyfriend instead? How on earth could you be the asshole because your mom bailed? Is she abusive? I mean, it's odd to me that you could possibly think that you're the asshole in this situation, which makes me worry what she does to you. In any case, good luck. I hope you have an amazing wedding. OP replied to that comment. I don't know if I would describe her as abusive, but I would say she's manipulative. This is the first time I've had countless. This isn't the first time. I've had countless situations like this.
So she's a narcissist.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've made myself a priority. She missed almost every major event in my life and or has made it about her. For instance, I graduated from 2 high schools and she wouldn't let me invite my dad to either graduation because she didn't want to see him, so she brought her boyfriend to one.
How do you
And her
graduate
other
from
boyfriend
2
to
high
the
schools?
To the other, I don't know. As far as the situation goes, she made me feel guilty for buying the dress without her and told me I crushed her dreams. Also, thank you well for your wishes. Hey, you didn't crush her dreams. She ignored what you wanted and tried to manipulate you. Guaranteed that she would ruin your joy in the dress you love. Like, yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, she just wanted it to be about her. She's a narcissist. Good on you, OP, for getting the dress you wanted and not letting her stop you.
Fuck that.
Yeah, no. You need to cancel this woman. Get her out of your life.
Like, that's... Okay, so... If... How do I put this in, like, an example of a male's perspective? So if I invited my dad to... like, if we were trying on tuxedos... I don't think that's right.
That's pretty different, but keep going.
Like, if they were trying on tuxedos... Because, like, a male's version of trying on a dress is different, right? Because, like, when males go and try on tuxedos, it's the color... Like, obviously, it's going to match. Like, I'm going to be wearing whatever color you want me to wear, whether that's black or something to fit the theme. And then my dudes... I can't remember what it's called.
Groomsmen?
Yeah, my groomsmen would be wearing the colors to match the colors that we choose to wear. And my dad would be in a slightly different color because he's going to probably be the best man or set. Like, either one of those.
Mhm.
Right? And usually, as from what I've heard, they try on the tuxedos, make sure it fits, because all tuxedos technically look the same.
Just for context, we got a double proxy marriage. We're having an actual wedding later. So, just to make that line up. Anyways.
What the fuck? Sorry. But, like, they sit in the fitting room after everything's fitted and everything, after all the stuff is done. They talk, we typically like, take some shots of whiskey, and they smoke cigars. That's from my dad's experience when he first got married. Him and his dad, and then Charlie, which is my grandfather, my mother's dad, like, all sat, like, as well as a couple friends, and like his brother, Jason and Sherman, like, they all sat after the tuxedos were fitted and smoked cigars and drank. And
You don't drink though, so.
well, yeah, but I know mine would be different. I'm just saying, it's your typical. If I invited, my dad would obviously go because he would not miss that chance, point blank period, unless he literally had to. If he decided to bail on me, like 2 days before the appointment was supposed to happen, like, what are you, like, I'm not rescheduling it. Like, you're the one that decided to go fuck around and not join me in this moment. So fuck it. I'll just, if Grandpa Charlie's still alive at that point, I'll save a seat for Mindy. I'll have your dad there. I'll have, you know, whoever else wants to come and a couple of my friends, and we'll sit there, smoke cigars, and like we'll do that instead of you, since you don't want to show up. Like,
My dad wouldn't do that, but
well,
I know your point.
like, you get my point, right? This is kind of the same thing. Your mother did not want to show up to this because she wanted to go take her abusive piece of shit out to dinner because I don't know why. Like, again, her getting with an abusive piece of shit already is a red flag. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't understand that. Like, you're like...
Well, in the mother's defense, I'm not trying to fully defend her, but abusive relationships, you typically don't know they're abusive until you're already in them, and then it's really hard to get out. Not saying that that's her situation, but it is a factor that could play into it, but considering the fact that the mother is wanting to take the guy out, it's kind of hard to believe that that's the situation.
Okay, another one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law no? Oh boy. My sister-in-law can be judgmental and oversteps often. She can also be kind and supportive. I didn't notice too much until the day after my daughter was born. We told our inner circle that when she was born, no one was allowed to post about her arrival until we did. Sister-in-law went behind our backs and announced my baby like it was her own. I let it go. I would not let that go. Like, fuck you.
Ew.
Our baby started to struggle and had constant testing with no real answers. For months, we were in and out of the hospital. She sent my husband a message saying that he looked like shit and wasn't acting right. The message was very critical and hurt. She knew our daughter wasn't well, and that's why he didn't seem to be doing well. This wasn't the first time nor the last of this behavior from her. Another time, she was told not to bathe the baby. Daughter's skin is extremely sensitive and has strict hygiene routine to keep her from being raw and scabby. She couldn't understand how one regular bath would be an issue. She said she had no choice. We told her we would come get her. The bath left my baby red, raw, and sore. She's allergic to almost every baby wash. This set us back 1 week to get the baby's skin calmed down. Fast forward to now. Last night, she asked if she could take my daughter to get pictures of her done. My daughter will be her one. My daughter will be her one in a few weeks. So she'll turn one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm assuming
she already had her children and got to raise them, but this is my husband and I's first child. Maybe only we tried for 5 years for her. So
rainbow baby.
So what's IMO mean?
I kept questioning that. I don't know. You'd have to look it up or comment down below.
I feel she is overstepping. Maybe she doesn't see it that way or just cares a lot for her niece. Besides my baby's skin issues, she also has an NG tube. The tube and tape make her face extremely irritated. I don't share pictures of her when she's having a rough go. Never know what day will bring for her skin. This is out of respect for her. I really don't feel comfortable with anyone taking her to have pictures taken. To me, it's also the privilege of her parents. I want to soak in every experience I can with her. To be honest, I'm 100% against it. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law no, she cannot have photographs taken of my daughter? Am I overreacting by telling her no?
I wouldn't say you're overreacting. I would say that you are scared and protective because your baby was born with these problems that were not necessarily expected and are not easy to deal with or handle, and you're still trying to work out the kinks with it. And she is right. Like, your sister already had, it was sister, right?
Yes.
Sister-in-law has already had her kids. She already raised her kids. And you need a chance to raise yours the way you want to.
On top of that.
And the way that you need to with her conditions.
Well, on top of that, she's a sister-in-law. Like, bro. Like, fuck off.
How does the brother feel about this? Like, how does the sister-in-law's husband, or wife, I guess. I should have. Yeah. Significant other. How do they feel about this?
It doesn't say.
Like, are they also pushing for this, or...
I wouldn't say so, because, I mean, she's giving comments to her, like, hey, you look like shit. It's like, yeah, my baby is ill half the time. Like, you want me to
Oh, you're not good. First of all, with a newborn, you're not gonna look good. I'm sorry, you're not. I can't. There's like very, very, very few people that can pull off the just gave birth look.
Yeah, like Sergeant Watson.
I haven't seen her.
Yeah, like she like for a newborn child, she looks really good. I'm seeing her like she has bags under her eyes, but she hides it very well.
Well, she also takes care of herself and like goes to the gym and stuff.
Well, she can't do much, but yeah, she does. So, I mean,
she takes really good care of herself, and because of the nature of her work, she kind of has to keep going.
So I mean, yeah, I guess. Well, then, and like the father of the child is a master sergeant, so
she's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and her being 85 herself, it's like, yeah. But I have an answer, I'm taking a break there too.
Okay. While we're taking a break from Reddit stories, I can kind of walk y'all through this. So, it's really messy at the moment, the one that I'm doing, but that is also because I have a hooded eyelid. Not extreme, but a little bit. But all I'm doing is I made a line, and then I made into a circle, and I'm just kind of filling in the circle and filling it out a little bit. I also don't have the best products. I think I got this one from Walmart back in the States. And they work all right. I love the colors, but they're not the best. And this one I've had for a while. I don't remember where I got it from. Probably like Walmart or something as well. Which is why I was also struggling with that one. And then from the circle, I am putting my brush down and I'm kind of rounding it to meet the tail, so to speak. Kind of like that. It's almost like a teardrop, if that makes any sense. And now to go back through and put the little arms, which I feel is what's been making them look like fish. But once we put the faces on, I feel like that'll help. I know that in the picture she has a little bit longer of tails. I was struggling with that apparently, so we're just gonna go with it. And for the arms, I'm just doing one line, 2 lines, and kind of rounding them out. And connecting them like I did with the first, like the head. Not that you can see that very well. But, rounding it out and connecting it.
We have a confession here.
Ooh, we're gonna get into confessions. Hold on. So I need to add a little bit more, and then I'll show you this ghost, and then we'll get into confessions. There. So there's that. I know that other arm looks weird, but you can't even see it when I have my eyes relaxed. So, yeah. Anyways, into confessions.
So 8 years ago, I took a breakup really badly, and my behavior during this time has started to haunt me recently. When I, 31 male, was 23, I was invited to a party by a guy I knew from university. I didn't know anyone else there. I met a dude, 27 male, from Eastern Europe, and his younger cousin, 18 female, who was visiting him in the UK for 2 weeks. I hit it off with both of them immediately, and we talked and laughed for most of the night. A few days later, the girl messaged me on Facebook and asked if I would meet her and show her around the city as her cousin wasn't bothering much. We had a great day, and then that night she came home with me, and one thing led to another, bing bada boom. We hung out for a further 2 days, and my feelings for her quickly became overwhelming. I felt we had a really special connection, and on the 3rd day I told her I loved her, red flag, incredibly toxic, I know, but I was just smitten. After another week of romance, it was time for her to go home. It hurt, but we agreed to talk every day, and I promised to visit ASAP. We messaged constantly and spoke on the phone frequently. 2 months later, I flew to her country to visit her for 2 weeks. Immediately, something seemed weird. I was really craving that special connection we had, but it just wasn't there. I didn't realize at the time, but now I realize that I was desperate to please her and in any way to try to replicate that feeling. I also now realize that feeling was just a holiday romance. It wasn't thinking straight or being realistic. She also had no plans to move to the UK either, so our future together was less than promising. I should have said goodbye at this point, but to my shame, I let this relationship, in quotation marks, continue for nearly a year. We would continue to message and speak on the phone all the time, and I would visit her every month or so. I also wasn't exactly rich, and traveling to Eastern Europe so frequently started to take its toll on my finances as well as my career. As time went on, our connection fades more and more, and eventually she wasn't even pretending to like me anymore. Looking back now, she obviously wasn't into it, but just didn't have the heart to tell me. And to be honest, I couldn't admit to myself that I had been so incredibly stupid and wasted nearly a year in a relationship that was never going to work and basically ruined my life in the process. One day she went silent. I immediately had a full-on nervous breakdown and frantically tried to contact her. A few days later, she replied and agreed to a Skype. She was stone-faced and direct and told me it was over and that the whole thing was stupid and that we were never that serious. I broke down in tears and begged her not to do this, telling her I loved her and needed her. She hung up. To further my shame, I hit the bottle and my life, my life quickly spiraled out of control. I felt so humiliated that I just couldn't tell anyone that I was going through it, and I just isolated myself. Every week or so, I would crumble and try to contact her, telling her I was falling apart and begging her to talk to me. Never got any response.
Get therapy.
Eventually, I got over it, and 8 years later, I'm now married in a good place in life. However, recently, I've started to see a different side of the whole episode. She was considerably younger, quite sheltered in life prior to meeting me. Obviously, she wasn't as keen as I was, but was under the pressure of having a foreign man in love with her. It wasn't intentional, but it's clear to me now how ridiculous the whole thing was and how toxic I was being. After the breakup, I was consumed by heartbreak and self-pity. Following that, I just hated her and blamed her for the state of my life was now in. I've started to think about her for the first time in years. I'm absolutely mortified by the whole thing. None of this was her fault. It was all me. She'll be 26 now, and I wonder if she thinks about me. I just hope she's okay and not traumatized by the experience. I really do hope she's okay.
Get therapy, OP.
Therapy!
How old was he?
He was 23.
20. And she was
17.
He,
Hang on. 18. Sorry. 18.
So she was 18 and he was 23 initially.
Yeah.
Is this his first ever relationship?
That's what I feel like it is.
Because...
Well, that, and it was like...
It's puppy love.
It was puppy love, and it was holiday love.
It's like you go on a cruise ship and have a cruise ship boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, it ain't gonna last.
So, when me and a few of my friends, like, went on, like, road trips and stuff, like, we go camping, like, in a different place, like, there was always, like, for some goddamn reason, there were always girls there about our age, and, you know, if they didn't seem our age, we didn't talk to them at all, like, if they didn't even seem close to our age, you know, because one, when we got older, we didn't get arrested, and two, because if we were younger than them, it was just awkward. So, it's like, and so, you know, they would come up to us, we would go to, like, one of us would go to them, like, whatnot, but, like, none of those quote-unquote relationships, it would never be more than just the time we spent there, like, ever. Like, if you go on holiday and you meet somebody, like, bro, like, just, like, if you want to fuck and, like, y'all both agree to fucking, then do it. But, like, don't continue it unless both of you are, like, oh, God, I'm just so fucking in love with you, like, oh, my God.
It never lasts. Never works.
Long distance never works. I speak from experience. Never works.
I don't think I've ever had long distance. I mean, technically with my ex-boyfriend, because I went to BMT and tech school when I was with him, so it was long distance for a little bit, but it didn't stay long distance.
Yeah, like this. To me, it's just wild.
Granted, my ex and I also were together for a while before that long distance. I feel like that's kind of the only way long distance works.
If you're with that person, I consider a long time beforehand.
Yeah, but even so, it's a huge risk for cheating. Like, it's wild.
You're telling me it's wild. Like, that's crazy. Just continuing to think about it, it's just not.
This tiny one's not working out very well. Do I add white or not to add white? I don't really want to add white because it's this one. It's waterproof and it's obnoxious to get off. But she also has white, and it looks really good. But I kind of don't want to do white. I feel like there's probably enough. I'm going to do white on top of the blues, on top of the dark blues, because black won't show up, obviously. But I don't think I'm going to do actual white ghosts. So, okay. So we're going to do the eyes and the mouths now. It looks like she also has some dots in there, so I'll go back and put the dots in later. And I know I technically, probably, most likely have less ghosts than her, but I'm not trying to sit here for over an hour getting all of the ghosts with worse quality makeup. Like, don't get me wrong, I like my makeup that I have, but she also has better tools to do the squiggles and make it easier than mine, because, like, if you can see, that one didn't turn out the best, which it's fine. This is for the girlies that don't have that. Or guys. Totally up to you. So, I have to look at the mirror to do this. I might be able to do it in the camera, hold on. So, with the eyes, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do it in the camera. Sorry, guys. I'm making a dot and drawing it out into a little bit more of a line. So it's a little longer, like an oval. There's one. I know it's really far over, but we also have to fit a mouth in here. Two. They're not even, and that's totally fine. It's a ghost. They're not perfect. In the mouth, you're just going to do slightly longer so it looks like it's screaming. I am going to go back through and round out the eyes a little bit more. I do that by just doing little dots and where I want to draw it out a little bit more. Looks a little crazy because the brush decided to do what it wanted to do, but it's fine. Like I said, it's a ghost. So I'm just gonna fast forward through putting the faces on the rest of them, but you're just doing the same thing over and over. On this bigger one down here, you start for the mouth. What I did was I had I'll show you on my hand. So I pressed down hard and then lifted up, and that's how I got more of that type of big to small, if that makes sense. Anyways. For the tiny one, I'm just doing 2 dots for the eyes. Now that the white is done, I'm going on to the black to go over the lighter ghosts for their eyes and mouth. Same thing, just with black. Now this part is optional, but I'm taking this palette. Not that you can see it very well because it's dark. There we go. And I'm taking the blue out of it. You can also do these ghosts with any colors you want. I'm just going based off of the reference. And you just tap this under your eye. You can use your finger, you can use brush, totally up to you. Definitely just got some in my eye, but it's fine. Everything's good. Try not to get it in your eye. Unlike me, that's got it in my eye twice already. Now you've done that, don't be afraid to blend it out a little to make it less harsh. This part is totally up to you, but I have this blue, can't really tell, but it's a blue eyeliner pen. And I'm just gonna give myself a little wing with this blue. It's a different blue than what I've used. It'll be a very, very faint wing, which is what I wanted. Very, very faint. Almost looks like it's just part of the eyeshadow. It's called eyeshadow. This side you're not going to see very much or very well, but I am still going to do it. I'm also going to put a little bit in the waterline. Just in that back portion. Because I'm going to go back through with a black for my waterline as well. Pencil to be specific. And I'm just going to do my finishing touches. And I can explain when I'm back. And I'm back with the finished look. I added some lashes. This side is very poorly because lashes will be the death of me. I added black lip, and I did put a little bit of the blue eyeliner on my lash line, like on the actual lashes, and then black as well. Anyways, this is it. Let me know what you guys think. Bye, beautiful specimens. Have a wonderful day.